Welcome to my little refuge. I would like to chat with you today about moving from the city to the countryside, or to at least a semi-urban environment like the one I live in, about the motivations, expectations, and disillusions one may encounter when making the move. Is it all worth it? Stay with me, and I would love to see your comments in the chat below. So when we made the move, when we decided to leave the city, I had different things in mind, different plans. I wasn't quite excited about moving to the countryside because I have done this in the past, and it never turned out just right for me. But this time something was different. Namely, I had a child, and it's quite different when you have children. You don't want to deprive them from that good life, from that normal childhood, running around, rolling in the mud, playing with dogs and cats, and learning how plants grow, all that stuff, going fishing. So one of the most important reasons for making the move was my son. On the one hand, I loved all those things that I mentioned. The little child in me was very excited about returning to play and sharing all these things that I know with my son. But the adult part of me was worried about jobs, namely not finding a job or having very little money from the job, and other things like this. The most important, I think, was the lack of opportunity and the dullness of life. There was also the other considerant of finding it very hard to make friends once you're so isolated. But we made a move nevertheless, and we decided to give it a go and see how it turns out. Some of the things I feared turned out to be true, but some of them turned out to be quite okay. And to my surprise, the job is one of those things. It might not be as yielding as the job in the city, but it certainly isn't as bad as I imagined. So, hooray to the countryside. I have always loved plants, not only for the sake of plants, but also for the sake of the insects that benefit the plants and benefit from the plants. And as soon as spring arrived, we started potting stuff. We didn't have too many pots. We purchased some during the winter, and we repurposed some objects in the house for this specific purpose. And we bought soil from the gardening shop because we don't have our compost heap ready, and we mixed it with soil from the field behind the house, and we started growing stuff. And to my surprise, my son was extremely excited, not just with the plants themselves, but with all those insects, and especially the bees and the bumblebees that are visiting our crops on the balcony. So this soon became our little routine, watering the plants together, watching the bumblebees through the window, gazing at the rain, all these wonderful things. And I think it benefited us both. Me specifically, I am calmer, I think, and and in a better mood. So I find this a bit like a refuge, a bit like a place where I can be myself again. Now, a few words about the city. Many people imagine the city to be full of people, but most of the time we actually live in small communities with people that we know, and in a way it's a small village. It's our community that we know, and they know us, and sometimes they can be very judgeful, very judgmental. Well, here in the countryside, I learned to slow down and mind less about what people think, spend more time with my son rather than bury myself in work and put him in all kinds of after classes and so on. So I think this is very beneficial for me and for my kid, and this was the aim after all. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and let me know what you think in the comments below. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day.